guys, it's Ahmer here. So today we are going to do something a little bit different, as some of you guys have been asking on social media for me to come out and do a Q&A. So today I'm going to talk about some of these questions and hopefully answer some of the questions that you guys have. And of course, if there's anything that you guys ever want to know, go ahead and leave in the comments below and I'll be sure to get to it in the next Q&A that I decide to do. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about who I am, what I do, how I find this stuff, and most importantly, why I even bother. So let's go ahead and hop into this. So, as many of you guys already know, my name is Brandy, and I do go by Ahmer, as that is also a part of my name, and that's pretty much what everyone has always called me, especially nowadays. So, pretty much what got me into this entire collecting and playing games and everything else, we'll just go ahead and talk about that. So, you guys always ask, why collect games? Why do you even collect? Do you play? Just all of these questions are always thrown out there. Well, of course I do play, and what actually got me into this is back in the day when I was much younger, so as a child, I actually was over at my cousin's house, and they had a Nintendo Entertainment System. And of course, they had Duck Hunt, and they had Mario Brothers. So I grew up actually taking turns with them, and we would go through and we would play Super Mario Brothers, we would play Duck Hunt. You just kind of left the TV on, and you just leave the console on, and you just go outside, you play for several hours, and then you come back inside and just kind of pick up where you left off. So I spent many nights, many sleepovers, many summer days, just going through and trying to beat a lot of the games that they had on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Being the younger cousin, it was always challenging trying to keep up and kind of compete with some of my older cousins. So that definitely sparked this entire passion that I have for video games. The Nintendo Entertainment System was one of the very first, actually the first console that I remember playing on. Now, as we kind of jump through the years, I also used to play arcade games. And a family member of mine actually had some arcade machines and pinball machines in his house back in the day, and I grew up actually playing those games. So I loved playing Donkey Kong Jr. and even Frenzy on the arcade machine, and then going through and playing these older style like bingo sort of like pinball machines, and even the haunted house pinball machine. So I did know someone in my family who had some video games back in the day, and I always thought that they were the coolest because they had this whole entire like little front porch welcome area just full of games, soda machines, just all kinds of cool stuff. So I always wanted something like that growing up. That definitely kind of sparked my like joy of trying to get into this stuff. And then of course, jump forward to my very first video game system that I got for the holidays back in the day. And when I opened up this package, this little present, I saw a Nintendo 64. Now, it wasn't just any Nintendo 64, it was the jungle green Donkey Kong version of the Nintendo 64. So I actually still have that console today. I was able to kind of pack that, store that away. That was one of the very first video game consoles that I remember collecting games for, playing games for, and then of course around that time period I did also get a Game Boy Color, so I was no longer using my cousin's Game Boy, the original big blocky brick one, and playing, you know, The Simpsons on it, Alleyway, Mario Brothers, and every other game that they had. I actually had my very own Atomic Purple Game Boy Color that I could play all of the Pokemon games on and just everything that I grew up playing. So those are kind of like the first that I had. Now, we did actually have a few other consoles that were like older that we got from some yard sales and kind of secondhand things, like a Genesis with all of the Sonic games and tons of other ones. But of course, my mom did kind of throw that out over the years, which sadly I wish she would have actually kept, but I'm glad that I at least have my childhood Nintendo 64. So as the years went on, of course the collection kind of like dwindled down, and it pretty much became that I didn't really have a lot of the stuff that I had as a kid. A lot of the stuff was sold for other things in life. When I got my career, when I started working full-time, when I started getting that extra income, I went into a flea market near me, and I had never been to this place before. And I still visit this place today, and all of the memories just kind of started flooding back in, of back in the day, playing the Nintendo 64, playing the Super Nintendo, playing the Nintendo, just playing the Sega Genesis, literally anything and everything, and I slowly started adding game consoles into my little collection that I had at the time. So back when I started collecting like 7 or 8 years ago, I started slowly chipping away at certain video game consoles that I remembered playing and the games that I remembered playing. And then of course, if I found some good deals, I would just go for it. So it kind of like sparked that joy of finding items, discovering new games, discovering games that I remember playing back in the day. Like on the Nintendo 64, playing Fighting Force 64 with some of my friends. We really had a blast going through playing that like beat 'em up style game, playing all of these Donkey Kong games, playing Kirby games, Mario, and then of course Mortal Kombat and all of these fighting games, Street Fighter, just kind of going through and reliving all of those memories that I had all of these years that I had forgotten about. So then I started posting pictures of my pickups, my finds, things like that on Instagram. And this is actually how I got into YouTube. So I knew nothing about the YouTube world. I think I came onto YouTube when I was learning how to unicycle and juggle and breakdance and do some other things back when I was a mascot in high school and in college. So that's really all that I knew about the entire YouTube world. Just like those how-to videos, and I learned quite a bit on it. But I did not know that there was like this whole retro video game collecting, this whole video game world on YouTube at the time. So someone had actually reached out to me on my Instagram and said, "Hey, I'm local to you. I have a YouTube channel for some magic cards. I think that you would be pretty good at showcasing your video game collection and your pickups just as you do on Instagram, and I could help you out." So he helped me with my first game room tour video. Of course, I was nervous as anything, and watching this stuff back now is just crazy to me because I was a whole different person. So when I actually started, I didn't know anything about this. And then he pretty much told me, good luck with everything. I hope that it really works out with you. It's a lot to manage a couple different channels. I'm here if you need me, but good luck. So I quickly had to learn how to do all of this stuff myself. And I know that it's not even the best today, but I just have fun with it. And that's really all that matters, because this is more of like a hobby rather than anything else. And I've met so many amazing people along the way. So that is pretty much how I got into YouTube. And kind of what I do is, like I said, I show off my collection. I go out there and find deals. I kind of showcase those deals, as in a world today where things are just so overpriced, so expensive, and where people get really discouraged trying to find good deals. I like to kind of show that you can find amazing things out there and you don't have to overpay for these items. So a lot of people just kind of get discouraged. They don't think that there's deals out there today. I find amazing deals all the time. I don't have tons of money just to, throw at this stuff. So anything, any deal really actually helps. And it really helps, especially if you're working full time and you don't have all this disposable income just to kind of throw at all of these games here. So spending a lot of time, in my free time, hunting for deals, looking for deals, trying to find items that I have duplicates of so that I can trade with other people, to get more stuff into my collection. That's definitely what it is. And of course, making all the connections along the way, going to video game conventions, making friends within the community, kind of being this positive influence when it comes to all of this, and just being around people that enjoy the same stuff that you do is really definitely a plus. So that's pretty much how I got into YouTube as well, and that's a little bit of a backstory on me. As we go through, everyone always asks, what are some of your favorite finds? I would have to say some of the displays, the kiosks, the signage would have to be some of my all-time favorites. And it's constantly changing because every single time I just find more amazing deals. Like I never thought that I'd find a sealed Mike Tyson Punch-Out standee from the Nintendo Entertainment System era. Never thought that I'd find one of those out in the wild for only a few dollars as it's worth thousands. I never thought that I'd be able to get a Sega Genesis, this little Sega cabinet that they used to have back in the day in stores. Then I found one at the Southeast Game Exchange. Then someone reached out on the channel and I found a second one, and they were pretty local to me. Then even that fiber optic, that World of Nintendo fiber optic sign, didn't even go looking for that. Someone just reached out and said that they had one. So, I mean, it's just every single month or so, something else just kind of like sparks this. And just kind of keeps this like thrill of this like hunting, thrill of finding this amazing stuff, kind of just keep going. So, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much why I do this stuff, kind of who I am, my passion that comes along with this, and then of course going forward in the future. So that is always something that I'm constantly asked. So I will be taking over another part of the house, and I'm hoping that I can get tons more arcade machines, kiosk displays, everything, you know, on display in a functional area where I can actually kind of have that stuff, enjoy that stuff. And then going through a lot of these gaming libraries, trying to find some more games that I played as a child, some that I have been wanting to play nowadays, and going through that Super Nintendo set that I am definitely trying to kind of inch closer to the end, as I have a long ways to go, but I'm really having fun with it, finding new games, and discovering a whole entire library that I just did not know about. So that is definitely fun. And then of course, as the future kind of goes on, I would love to do something more than just kind of like hoard this stuff. So that would be something, you know, have this stuff on display somewhere, or some of it, or something like that. So that's always something that I think about, something that I would love for this to kind of go into. This stuff is meant to be enjoyed and meant to be played, kind of on display, meant to be seen. So I would just love to kind of have that as well in the future. But we'll pretty much see where all of that goes. So I hope that this entire rant was worth it to you guys. And if there are any questions, let me know in the comments below. As in the next couple Q&As that I'll do, maybe I'll even do a live one so that if you guys have questions, I can go ahead and answer them right away. But I would love to continue to answer some questions, as I do get a lot of those throughout all of my social media, on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, on Facebook, YouTube. I just get them across all the different platforms, and I try to answer when I can, but it really helps when everything's kind of together like this. So let me know if you guys have any more questions. Of course, I have some really good news coming up, so I can't wait to share that with you guys, as that'll kind of give some more answers of some things coming out. And I definitely can't wait for that to actually air. So as soon as that happens, I will let you guys know. And I just wanted to thank all of you guys, because without you guys, I probably wouldn't be here where I am, or at least kind of meeting everyone and showcasing this stuff with you guys. And then as this entire month progresses, I'll go ahead and do some more like thankful things that I'm thankful for. And then I always do an end of the year recap. And then of course the game room tour will be coming soon. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all of that, as there is so much more in store, and I can't wait to get everything together for you guys. So let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments below, add some more questions, and thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and stay tuned for more.